Rahim. We come to Hadith number 1597. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, أشد الناس عذابا عند الله يوم القيامة أشدهم عذابا للناس في الدنيا. Where is Bashar al-Assad to hear this hadith? The people who will be mostly punished, tortured at the Day of Judgment are those who used to be mostly torturing people in life. Today, almost 200 people died. Yesterday, almost 250. Before, almost 200. Before, subhanAllah, killing, mass killing. What are those people to hear that? They don't know what awaits for them at the Day of Judgment. They're torturing people. Yesterday, one bomb was shelled on a house, a building, that killed all the people in the building. They were all hiding in that building. Children, women, they are all under the ground, and there's no way. Some of them are still alive, but they can't bring them out. They call who? The authorities? The authorities are killing the people. They call who to help? The authorities? You don't know what is the difficulty that our brothers are facing in that country. But know what? The victory is on the way. And I don't say inshallah, because the Prophet promised that victory eventually will be in Ash-Sham. As-Sahiha, hadith number 1442. Coming to hadith 1598. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, أشد الناس عذابا يوم القيامة رجل قتله نبي أو قتل نبيا وإمام ضلالة وممثل من الممثلين. It is narrated by Abdullah ibn Mas'ud that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, those who will be mostly the worst tortured people at the Day of Judgment is a man who got killed by a prophet or who killed a prophet. One who got killed by a prophet. The one who got killed by a prophet, he'll be the most tortured person. Or the one who killed a prophet. وَإِمَامُ ضَلَالَةٍ, and a leader of misguidance. A leader of misguidance. Allahu Akbar. He will be the mostly tortured people among. Why? Because he's the leader of misguidance. And among the supplications of Ibrahim, he was asking Allah to make him a leader of guidance. So as the leader of guidance receives a lot of rewards, why he wants to be a leader of guidance? Guaranteeing that if he died, still he'll be achieving a continuous rewards that Allah accumulates for him. This is the best business, wallahi. It's not mockery if I say that those prophets are the best businessmen in the world, because they succeeded in this life and the hereafter. While people like Bill Gates, for example, he's successful only in life. He's just like Hatim al-Ta'i. Have you heard of Hatim al-Ta'i? Hatim al-Ta'i was the most famous generous people in the peninsula, even before Islam. He died before the prophethood of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And his son is Adi ibn Hatim. He's a companion. So Adi came to the Prophet and asked him about his father. He said, "Oh Prophet, my father." So about him. He said he used to be inviting people, giving to the, unlimited giving to the poor people. He was giving unlimited giving to donation to the people. The Prophet ﷺ replied and said, إنه لم يقل يوما لا إله إلا الله
اللهم اغفر
لي اغفر لي خطيئتي يوم الدين. He never said in his life, "Oh Allah, forgive my sin at the day of judgment." Only to say that. He didn't say it. He was good, generous, the best example in generosity. But he never said, "Oh Allah, forgive me at the day of judgment." So a leader of guidance, we have to be very careful against those people. And we know how much people count, how much the outsiders count on those people. I think you know some of them. I'm not going to count. But how the Westerners, the outsiders, how they take good care of them and support them. They support them. وَمُمَثِّلٌ مِنَ الْمُمَثِّلِينَ, and a mutilator. One of those mutilators. You know the mutilator? Mutilator is the one who, after killing a person, he keeps cutting him, mutilating him, deforming him, stabbing him, cutting his body. This is haram in Islam. Or burning people. Even if he has the right to kill them, to punish them, he has no right. No one at all has the right to burn a body. That is why what happened in Iraq, for example, I'm not with the American soldiers, I never think that, but mutilating the bodies of those soldiers, for example, is not allowed in Islam. It is not allowed. Haram. And that caused those people who have no hearts and mercy to cause the killing of a lot of Muslims after that. When they saw by pictures their friends are being dragged and mutilated and burned. Ali radiallahu anhu, he heard about the Saba'i people. Saba'i people who belonged to Abdullah bin Saba, the Jewish guy who pretended to be a Muslim. And he is the biggest causer, the establisher of Shi'ism, which caused a big injury in Islam until today. Segregation. This Abdullah bin Saba, he said to Ali, "Anta ant." You. What's that? That means you are him, you are Allah. He heard about that. Then he called his people. He couldn't get him. He called his followers. He asked them, "Is that what you believe about me?" They said, "Yes." He ordered them to be burned, and they were burned. Then Ibn Abbas, when he knew about that, he said, "If I were at your place, I would have never done that. Because I heard the Prophet ﷺ saying, there is no one that torture with the fire except the creator of the fire. No one should punish by fire except the creator of the fire." Now, so that hadith indicates that, or fruits, that mutilation is not allowed. Coming to hadith 1600, narrated by Aisha, أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم said, أقيلوا ذوي الهيئات عثراتهم. How beautiful is this hadith? But will I be able to translate it? This is the problem. يعني, those who are known with righteousness and goodness, they were known, they have a high class of donating, doing good, reconciling between people. They they are chasing every good deed to do it. But sometimes they slip. They fall in a mistake. The Prophet said, help them. Help them skipping their slip. Help them. And that shows how Islam is a religion of fairness and justice. Sometimes, if you have an enemy, someone who became your enemy, and you know that he's a good person, he's doing a lot of good things, but you're trying to pick his mistakes because he's your enemy. You're ignoring the good things of him, and you're focusing on the mistakes he committed. That's not fair. We say, إذا بلغ الماء قلتين لم يحمل الخبث. If the water reaches 2 scales of containers, big, that means the water will not be lifting the dirt and the filth. That means the water is big enough. So if you throw some filth, dirts in it, the water will not be affected. Will still remain to be clean and cleaner. Not only clean, but cleaner. Such as the sea. Do you know that in most of the world, they're throwing the garbages in the sea? In my country, they throw the garbage go to the sea. And that doesn't affect it. So if a man has a sea of good deeds, and he was tried by some mistakes, some filthes, we should help him, skipping from his sin and from his fault. Why? Because he's known as a good doing person. This is the meaning of the hadith. أقيلوا ذوي الهيئات عثراتهم.
Yes, أقيلوا.
Yani help them when they skip. Yani let them stand up from their skip. Or slip. Slip, not sleep, slip. Yeah. Yeah, if a person, which means if a person made a mistake. Okay? And we say a beautiful word. لِكُلِّ جَوَادٍ كَبْوَةٍ. Every horse that runs, it may slip. Every horse. Do you find a horse that never slip? No. No. As-Sahiha 1298. Coming to hadith number 1603. The Prophet ﷺ said, 1601. He said, alayhi أَلَا أُخْبِرُكُمْ بِخِيَارِكُمْ. Shall I tell you about the best ones among you? خِيَارُكُمْ أَطْوَلُكُمْ أَعْمَارًا وَأَحْسَنُكُمْ أَعْمَالًا. The best ones among you are those with longer term of life and more good deeds and best deeds. That means if you want to make supplication against someone, you say to him, أَطَالَ اللَّهُ عُمُرَكَ. May Allah extend your life. That's supplication against him. It's not good for him. Because the Prophet also said, when the Prophet said that, it means necessarily that the worst people among you are those with longer life and worse deeds. So the best will be those with longer term of life and best good deeds. Is that understood? Clear? Now, As-Sahiha 1298, coming to Hadith number 1603, that the Prophet of Allah ﷺ said, ألا إن العارية مؤداه. Verily, the borrowed object should be returned. Yani someone say to you, can I get this just for a couple of days? Okay, yes. After that, oh, it's gone. Someone took it. No. You should give back the lended stuff. Someone, you lended, you borrowed something from someone, you have to give it back. الْمِنْحَةُ مَرْدُودَةٌ. Also, al-minha is, for example, you have an extra sheep, or you're traveling somewhere and you have sheeps. Okay? Either they die or someone takes care of them, and you say to him, the production of what I'm going to borrow you is yours. For example, this is what it means. Manihatul anz. Manihatul anz in the Prophet's expression means that if you borrow someone, if you have extra, for example, sheeps that you don't need, okay, and someone who has no sheeps and he needs to, drink from their yogurt, so you give him, say, okay, keep it with you and feed yourself with their production, milk, and give them back to me. So this is the minha. So this minha also should be returned. When he asks you to give it back, you should return it. وَالدَّيْنُ مَقْضِي. And the debt should be given back. وَالزَّعِيمُ غَارِمٌ. What's the meaning of za'im? Anyone can explain it? Za'im?
Leader.
No. That's what I expected you to say. Here, za'im also, yes. You remember the hadith, أَنَا زَعِيمٌ بِبَيْتٍ في ربض الجنة. What's the meaning of أَنَا زَعِيم? In the Quran, وَأَنَا بِهِ زَعِيم. That means he is, guarantor. Exactly. You know the guarantor. I'm sure you use it here in this world of UK. They may say to you, you bring a guarantor. Do you have a guarantor to sponsor you? Za'im means guarantor. وَالزَّعِيمُ غَارِمٌ. That means if you become a guarantor for someone, okay, for a pledge or for money or for debt, then you should give back, because you are the guarantor. وَالزَّعِيمُ غَارِمٌ. As-Sahiha 610. Coming to Hadith 1604. عن صفوان ابن سليم عن عدة وقال البيهقي 30 من أصحاب النبي. Al-Bayhaqi was the author of the book Sunan al-Kubra. He counted 30 Sahabi as narrators to this hadith to show the importance of this hadith. Let's see, what is that hadith? ألا من ظلم معاهدا أو انتقصه أو كلفه فوق طاقته أو أخذ منه شيئا بغير طيب نفس فأنا حجيجه يوم القيامة. Verily, whoever oppressed a mu'ahad. Mu'ahad is the one, for example, whom the leader of the Muslims had given him pledge for his security. Do you know that Abu Sufyan was the leader of most of the fights against Islam? Do you know that?
Yeah.
Do you know that he was given pledge? A truce. You know the truce? And by that truce, 10 years of truce between Medina and Mecca, Abu Sufyan was visiting Medina. After a long term of fighting the Muslims. The worst thing they said to him, Abu Sufyan, Adu Allah, ما الذي أتى بك هنا? Oh, Abu Sufyan, the enemy of Allah. What brought you here to Medina? That's all. That's the worst thing they said to him. Did they kill him? No. Did they capture him? No. Why? Because they know if they did, they will be breaking the promise of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That's the worst they said to him. So the Prophet said, whoever oppressed a pledged person, mu'ahad, it's from ahad, promise, pledge. أو انتقصه, or he inflicted up his honor, يعني cursing him, insulting him. أو كلفه فوق طاقته, or he burdened him, he laid on him something that he cannot bear, or he took from him something without his pleasure. He's not happy with what he takes from him. فأنا حجيجه يوم القيامة, I'll be his disputer against him at the day of judgment. Yani the Prophet will be taking the initiative of disputing with him and arguing with him. Why did he do that? Because it is one of the worst things that demolish and disguise the beauty of Islam, is to kill from the back or to break your promise. For example, you come to this country, and you know when you got the visa what it means. This is ahd that you're giving, that you're going to respect. Not all the laws. Some laws I don't respect, but I don't break. I leave it. Because I came with a promise. Okay? I can see people in the pubs drinking. Shall I do something inside? No. You came with a promise. So you have to maintain your promise. And this is a long story. I know some people, funny people. They said, we can take the boat out of the strategic limits, which is 500 meters. From, take a beat, go to a country, an enemy country. We use the boat, we get out from the limits, the borders, the sea borders of the country. Then we turn back after exceeding the limits. Now we are becoming what? Warriors. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Then doing what? They make ghazwa. Where? In Lidl, in Morrison supermarket, in Tesco. They become, mashallah, so they are collecting anfal. You know the meaning of the anfal? Spoils. This is ridiculous. Some people do it. And they said this is allowed. I said, they said Islamically it's allowed. I said, what about their woman? If you spoil their money, you can spoil their woman as well. Is that allowed? They say, well, that's another issue. Why? It's the same issue. It's the same issue. Because we're coming to this inshallah, but because those two are mutalazim, they are attached to one another. Because if we fight an enemy, We are a war, an army, and they are an army. Okay? We are allowed to take their spoils. Women and money. Not only money without women. But I wonder, why don't you fight before you take the spoils, the anfal? That happens. طيب. Hadith 445 الصحيحة. Coming to Hadith 1607. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Inna arba riba." What's the riba? You know the meaning of riba? Huh?
Interest.
It's wrong translation. Usury, not interest. You know the meaning of interest? That interests me. No, we don't use the word interest. We don't like it. Because it's in itself, the body of this word, it attracts you. So we call it usury, riba. I wonder, subhanAllah, yesterday, I was asking about a friend. MashaAllah, he was growing his beard, MashaAllah, and his face, subhanAllah, a face of light, a face of iman. Last time I saw him, maybe 2 months ago. Yesterday I was asking about him, and someone said to me, "Oh, my brother, he's in trouble." I said, "What?" He said to me, he shaved his beard. I said, "All of it?" He said, "Yes." What else? What about his job? He said, he's working in Barclays. What, Barclays? Yeah, Barclays Bank. Okay. This is worst. So I called him. He didn't reply. And he said to his friend, "Never tell Sheikh Dimashqiah that I got this job in the bank." So I called him, he did not reply. So I used the phone of his brother. He replied. So I was speaking to him, how are you, etc., etc. What happened? He said, I'm in trouble. I need money, and I need to get a wife. And all salaries are very low, except the salary of the bank. The salary of the bank is high, and you're happy, you're not tired. I said, Allahu Akbar. He said, "Well, you know what?" I said, "What?" He said, "I'm not working on the money section. I'm away from that." I said, "Yes, but you're cooperating." He said, "Yes." I said, "There is no bank that can stand without cooperation." And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَتَعَاوَنُوا عَلَى الْبِرِّ وَالتَّقْوَى وَلَا تَعَاوَنُوا عَلَى الْإِثْمِ وَالْعُدْوَانِ وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ إِنَّ اللَّهَ شَدِيدُ الْعِقَابِ. And cooperate on righteousness between yourselves, on righteousness and the God-fearing matters. And never cooperate on sin and transgression, and fear Allah, for Allah's punishment is so severe. Now we're talking about riba. I said to the brother, I don't owe you anything except asking Allah to make a breakthrough for you and to help you and guide you finding a better job. Please don't do that. This is riba. You know, ya akhi, what's the meaning of riba? You know what is the lowest level of riba? Who knows? Anyone knows? The lowest level of riba is equal in its sin and punishment of one who sleeps with his own mother. The lowest level of riba. And you know what is sleeping with one's mother is equal of 36 zina, fornication, with a normal woman. This multiplied 36 times. Okay. Now let's see in this hadith. Why did I mention that to you? Oh, by the way, I said to him, he said, yeah, after inshallah 1 year, 2 years, I can get good money and I marry a wife. And then I change my job. I said, yeah, and you have children, and you may be having this guy's children, handicapped children, syndrome kinds of children. Do you know the syndrome? Allahu Akbar. Then what's going to happen? You will feel the guilt of your whole life. It's because of you. Because you did not seek a good halal food that enters your body. But if you were not doing anything wrong and Allah tried you with this, you'll be saying, alhamdulillah, I'll be patient for that. Allah is testing my patience. And this life is nothing. A believer can deal with this. But when you know that you've done something wrong, just like those women who fornicate and they'll be inflicted with AIDS, and they have children that have AIDS. Or those smoking women, they have children that they have diabetes, they have blood pressure, they have a lot of diseases because of that. Now let's see in this hadith, what is the worst kind of riba? The Prophet ﷺ says, Inna arba riba shatmul a'rad. Al-a'rad is plural of ard. And al-ard is the bottom line, is the center of the person's honor. That's the meaning of ard. Shatmul a'rad, you insult his honor. You keep insulting, swearing at. The Prophet said, this is the worst kind of riba. And you know what's the best kind of zakah? What's the best kind of charity? Charity, not zakah, charity. Donation. What is the best kind of donation? Reconciling between two brothers who don't talk to one another. That's the best donation. And the best riba is to insult the people. That's Islam. So that's the worst kind of riba. But riba is bad in itself. الذين يأكلون الربا لا يقومون إلا كما يقوم الذي يتخبطه الشيطان من المس. The dealer with riba, he will not be resurrected at the day of judgment except by a resurrection of someone who looks like a demon possessed. Yani the dealer of riba at the day of judgment, when he will be resurrected, while the person who died in Hajj and he was saying Labbaik Allahumma Labbaik, and he died before accomplishing his Hajj, the moment he'll be resurrected, he'll be continuing saying Labbaik Allahumma Labbaik. Compare between those two images. One, the first moment he's resurrected, he'll be saying Labbaik Allahumma Labbaik. Compare him to the one whom will firstly, when he will be resurrected, will be shouting and yelling and behaving like one who is possessed by the demon. So this hadith shows the horribleness and the great punishment for this great sin. It's the worst kind of riba, to insult your brother. We still have time. Today I was supposed to be giving wasatiyah, but I could not get the book, brother. Is the book available? Al-Wasitiyya. I need it.
Arabic.
In English? Arabic and English. Please, it's very important. I tried to download it even, but they ask big money for it, something like $19 or something. It's too much. So I'm still trying to, inshallah, download it free if I can. No. Coming to Hadith 1613 عن حذيفة رضي الله عنه أن المشركين أخذوه وأباه. Narrated by Hudayfa that the mushrikeen took him and his father. فأخذوا عليهم أن لا يقاتلوهم يوم بدر. So they took the covenant on them, on Hudayfa and his father, that if there will be a fight in Badr, you will not fight with Muhammad against us. Then he came and he told the Prophet ﷺ that this is a covenant that I had to give, because otherwise my people will not be, because they what do you call it? They jailed him.
Hostage?
Yeah. They jailed him, they took him. There's another word, I'm trying to remember it. Yeah. And they said to them, if you go to Muhammad, are you going to fight with us, with him against us? In Badr, he said yes. They said no. Give us your promise that you will not, so we'll leave you. So he said to them, I will not. So he thought that he may say it, and then afterwards he can break it. Then what did the Prophet say to him? فوالهم فوالهم يعني apply your promise to them. يفي بالعهد. That means to accomplish his promise. Give them your word, and we ask Allah against them. As-Sahiha Hadith 2191. Coming to Hadith 1616 عن ثعلبة بن الحكم قال أصبنا غنما للعدو. ثعلبة بن الحكم said, we captured, detained, I was looking for the word detained. So Tha'laba ibn al-Hakam, he said, we captured many sheep for our enemies. It's very clear in this hadith that it's not in war. It's not in war. Because in war is allowed. فَانْتَهَبْنَاهَا. Then we mugged it. You know, mug. We stole it. We took it. Intihab. فَنَصَبْنَا قُدُورَنَا. That means we cooked them and we put our plates for food. فَمَرَّ النَّبِيُّ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ بِالْقُدُورِ. Then the Prophet passed by these containers of food. فَأَمَرَ بِهَا فَأُكْفِئَتْ. He ordered it to be thrown. ثُمَّ قال إِنَّ النُّهْبَةَ لَا تَحِلُّ. النُّهْبَةَ لَا تَحِلُّ. النُّهْبَة is something that you like kidnapping. Kidnapping is not allowed. Imagine. He didn't say, Yalla, you didn't know about that, let's eat the food. No. He said, throw it. And all the hadith that I'm bringing here are authentic. Yani we should put here on the book QC. What's the meaning of QC? Nobody knows? Maybe your father did not buy you a toy when you were young. Quality checked. Quality checked. And the quality of this book have been checked. All the hadith are authentic. That's what I meant. Now, so is it allowed what people do in the supermarkets here based on this hadith? It's not allowed. طيب. Hadith number, subhanallah, I love this. In another war, at the late time of the Prophet ﷺ, Hudayfa was fighting with his father. But the Muslims killed his father by mistake. Then Hudayfa radiallahu anhu, he saw his father dying. What did he say to them? Did he swear at them? May Allah forgive you. What did you do to my father? That's all. May Allah forgive you. What did you do to my father? That's all what he said.
Was father Muslim?
Yes.
Oh.
That shows how Islam turns people from being like shaitan, from being very blunt. And you know the people of the Gulf, they're very harsh. Especially, I'm talking about the Bedouins. The Bedouins, subhanallah, very blunt people. You can't deal with them, but in a way you can see their, subhanallah, they're very close to the natural disposition. In this, they're very nice. You love to sit down and talk to them. They're very harsh. But at the same time, subhanallah, they have a good nature that is covered by this dry weather in the peninsula. I remember this when I was in Saudi Arabia. It was 1979. So I was new in Saudi Arabia. 1979. On that year, I was in the most famous, the biggest mosque in Riyadh at the time. It's called Ad-Dira Mosque. It's well known. Usually, they don't do what my people in my country do if a person died. If a person died, the woman will be shouting, tearing up their clothes, grabbing the hair, falling on the ground, doing very bad things. But they don't do that in those Bedouins don't do that. Khalas. But there was a man in Ad-Dira Mosque who brought his child with him, and they were performing janazah on him. And the child was small, young. But the man was making a big voice with his shouting, crying. Then a Bedouin came to him and said, "Qul la ilaha illallah, Qul la ilaha illallah, Qul la ilaha illallah, Qul la ilaha illallah." Then he didn't listen to them. Allah yadik. Then he left. It's harsh, but it's nice. You like it. It's harsh, but nice. Islam had changed those people from being very blunt, very harsh, to be very soft and kind. His father was killed by the hands of his brothers. But he, despite the big tragedy, that did not make him exceed the limits, saying nothing but, "May Allah forgive you, you killed my father." May Allah's pleasure be upon his companions. Wallahi, we ask Allah and we know we don't deserve it, but we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, by His grace and mercy, that grant us to be in their company at the Day of Judgment.
Is this Hudayfa ibn Yaman?
No. طيب. We come to hadith number 1610, and that's the last one, I think. It's time already. إن الله مع الدائن حتى يقضي دينه ما لم يكن فيما يكره الله. يعني the debted one who is truly, sincerely striving to give back, Allah is with him. To the extent that caused one of the companions saying, let me be indebted. So I strive to give it back because I don't want to be one night passing with me and Allah is not with me. I want Allah always to be with me. Now, is it time now or? Yeah, it's time now. So inshallah we continue tomorrow inshallah. جزاكم الله خيرا. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.